Good morning. Okay, let me see you do the form from the beginning up through what we did yesterday. Watch. Instead of doing it this way, I'm going to be doing it this way.
A lot of mistakes.
Well, I'm not sure mistake's quite the right word for it, but I know
Well, I mean, a lot of
a lot
a
to
lot
learn.
of a lot of things that I didn't do right.
A lot to learn. How did you enjoy your vacation?
The
Traveling
vacation, the vacation in
No,
Oregon,
yes, in Oregon, Northern California, yeah.
yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, really.
I bet it was.
Yeah. It,
Okay.
it seems like it was a long time ago already, but yeah.
It already seems way in the past, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's work on this little section here. All right. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. When you do this, all right, that's a catenary arch. All right, it's just made by hanging something from the ceiling, so to speak. That arch, it's not a circle. All right, and if you flip it around upside down, that's what your leg structure needs to be like. All right, it you don't have to be way down. If you're really young, you can practice that. But you need to have that opening in the crotch. All right? You do that when you do this, and what powers this is your legs moving across your crotch. You go ahead and do that. I'm going to tell you to stop at a certain place, and you need to stop right then, everything. Go. Stop. Do you see that you're leaning over? You're leaning like this. All right? That's why you need to have it's almost like a square here, right? So it's not leaning like this. It's this just slides back and forth. And this stays upright. Look at my arms when I'm done. They're not like this. They're just gentle. Yes. Yes, much better. Much better. Now, it's not just about that place. Take that same idea and apply it to everything. All right? The upper body stays upright most of the time. The hips always move like this. All right? The arms are relaxed. They're not hyperextended, they're relaxed. Let me change here. Try that part. Okay. Try it again, Catherine, but change instead of doing like this, change your orientation like this, so when you come around, you're facing the camera. The other way, yeah.
Here.
No, the other way around.
Here.
Yes. Yes. Okay. When you make this transition, this is another, as all the places are, this is another place where if you watch really carefully, you can learn some really basic principles of Tai Chi that you can apply to any movement that you do. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it really slow. And I'm actually going to do it at kind of a weird angle. So instead of going like this, I'm going to turn the angle a little bit like this so you can see different parts of my body. And I'm just going to talk my way through this. Down, down to the bottom of that foot. And this foot can turn in because all my weight's on this leg here. Now, pump. The whole body expands. Right? Pump. Loop. On. G. Right? G. Chi. I've got his wrist and his elbow. Relax down to the bottom of this foot, your forward foot, and then pump, loop, on, chi. Right? If you can get those four energies in there, it helps structure everything that you do. All right, let's try it. Pump, loop, on, chi. One more. Pump, loop, on, chi. You do it. Okay.
My
Watch,
feet is not
watch.
right.
What's that?
Something with my feet that is not right.
What? Okay, let's do the footwork first, right? Watch my feet. I'll do it this direction, right? Watch this foot. So you have to make two adjustments. First, the right foot comes in. Second, the left foot comes out and back. If I do it from this direction, watch. Right toes in, left foot back, and then you step forward. Honey, move back just a little bit so I can see your feet. Yes. And step forward with the right foot. Yeah, just half a step. Okay, your footwork isn't perfect, but that's the basic pattern. Try it again. Be careful that you don't cross behind your own foot. Right? Watch. So you're also stepping out and then step forward. And it's just half a step. It's a very small step. Yeah. Okay, you've got the basic idea. You work on the footwork as time goes on, but that's the basic idea. Okay, the next thing is many times when you're doing Tai Chi in every form, you don't put pung in the hands. The pung, that is the expanding energy, may end up in the wrists, not in the hands. And you do that for a reason. If you have a lot of pung in your hand, it means someone can grab your hand and do something with it. Because the pung, the expanding power in your hands or your elbow or your knee, is something that somebody else can grab, and then they can beat you with it, right? So you don't want that. So you have to learn where your pung is at all times, right? Is it in my hands? If I'm going to move my hands, very often they're empty. So the pung is in the wrists, and the hands are just totally relaxed. Pung. Now the hands activate. Lu. On. Qi. When I started with Master Zhang, one of the first things I noticed was that when he did the form, his hands to me were like the arms of a semaphore. All right? They were intelligent. They were saying something. There was a language there, but I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to read it. All right? But this is a little piece of it. So the very beginning, when you pung, it's in the wrist. The fingers are totally relaxed. The hands, if somebody grabbed it, there wouldn't be anything there. Pung. Now, Lu. Well, why is that? What is the change about? Imagine somebody is coming up and they want to choke me. There's many different things you can do, but one thing that you might do is just come up underneath his arms like this. You come up underneath his arm and you disrupt, his energy is coming this way, you disrupt that energy. So you're not using your hands or your fingers, you're actually using your forearm and especially your wrist to disrupt that, right? That's the beginning of it. Pung. Right? The very first movement in the form is the same thing, right? Pung. And then at the beginning of the form, you're going to use the knob of the wrist, right? The knob of the wrist is going to come up under his elbow and pull him this way. Now, that's very different from grabbing someone and pulling them. But a lot of movement in Tai Chi works by suggestion. It's not by force, it's by suggestion. It's like hypnosis, right? And when you come up under someone's arm and you go like this, that tells them move in this direction, and they will begin to move in that direction. So you're not forcing their physical body, you're suggesting something to their mind, right? They will start to move this way, and then they'll become conscious of it, and they'll start to move in the opposite direction, which is exactly what you want them to do, right? It's like a chess game. It's like a chess game, only you're playing by more sophisticated rules than they're playing by. At least that's what you hope, right? So you come up under and you suggest, come in this direction here, come in this direction here. And they start, and as soon as they begin to move their weight, then they will become conscious of it. And then they'll move back, and that's when you counterattack. So the very first movement in the form is come in. The guy's coming in anyway. And what you tell him is, yeah, okay, come on in. Right? Come in. And they will begin now to go backward, and that's when you switch, boom, and you help push them out the other direction. Right? So this is something like that. Relax, pump. Now, in this case, we're not really moving the person. What we're probably doing is lifting them a little bit, but not physically. You're not trying to physically lift this person up. That's too much. All right? But what you can do is just provide a little pressure underneath their arms. And that will cause them to do certain things. All right? So you lift up under their arms just a little bit. At first, they're going to go up. And then what are they going to do? They're going to go down. They don't want to do what you want them to do. They want to do what they want to do, right? So if you say go up, they're going to say, no, I want to go down, right? They're just like a 3-year-old. Right? Lift, push. This is a push. How do you do it? If you do it with your arms, all you'll do is hurt yourself. Exactly. You shift your weight. Shift your weight. The arms stay very relaxed. Now, hopefully, can you feel this wave of energy in your body? All right? Very simple. You're just shifting your weight. It causes a wave of energy. Your hands become like surfers. There's the wave. They're surfing on the wave. Since they're surfing on the wave, they're not creating the wave. They're just on the wave. All right? Now, as the wave comes through, it's going to reach up all the way from the ground, all the way to your shoulders, and then out your arms to your fingertips. So you can pop that. Pop. 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 When you pop it, you can't be ahead of the wave. You have to be expressing the wave. So the old saying in Chinese is, the power, your power is created by the ground, by your feet and your legs and your hips. That's where your power comes from. Right? It's directed by the waist. When you turn your waist, that decides whether it goes this way or it goes this way, boom. And then it's expressed in the hands. It's really, really, really important to understand it's not created by your hands.
Mhm.
Because in the way that we're all taught to move, of course, nobody actually teaches you, but your culture teaches you. The way we're taught to move is the power is in the hands and the arms. Nobody even thinks about it. So in a sense, the power is out, in a sense kind of outside. You're moving your outside. You're moving your physical body, and there is a certain amount of power there. So it's not worthless, but it's just different than what we're doing. What we're doing, the power is coming out of the ground, not out of the hands. Now, the truth is, when you do Tai Chi, if you're going to do it seriously, um, in say a push hands or a sparring situation, it's going to look a little different. Right? Wow, that didn't look like you're doing the form, but it is. You practice for fast by going slow. Right? You practice slow, 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 so that you can get the basic principles into your body. You can't you can't do it up here. It's got to be your body doing it. All right? So slow. After you've done this for a few years, then it's inside your body, and then if you need to change your speed, all right, you can do it because you're doing things in the right sequence. When you bind a book, when you make a book, isn't there a sequence?
Yes.
If, if you don't follow that sequence, what happens?
One work.
Yeah, one, a lot more work. Two, very often it just ruins it. All right? There's a sequence: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's exactly the same in Tai Chi. And to learn that sequence in your body, um, you just have to go slow, focus on one thing at a time. You can't do the whole sequence at once, but you can do one or two things, right? So you get that sequence in there. Once you get the sequence in, you can always speed up. You can always you can add some power from your arms and your hands. Your hands and your arms, of course, they have power. The problem really isn't the power, the problem is the sequence. So, what happens is we forget about all this and we just try to do it with our hands. That's the way we're trained, right? It's, right? It's all hand eye coordination. Nobody thinks about their feet. But in Tai Chi, you have to think about your feet. So you have to de emphasize, in a certain sense, the hands and the arms, and emphasize the feet and the legs and the pelvis and the Dan Chin. Emphasize that. Get that down. And then you can add the hands and the arms on top of that. So it's the right sequence. And here's the sequence. This is the secret of Tai Chi. Right? I think I've told you this before, but it starts here. It goes to here. then it goes to the ground, then it comes back to here, then it comes up to here, 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 here. It's a big loop. It's a big loop. That's the sequence. And if you don't do it in that sequence, what happens is you're going to lose most of your power. Right? Watch it go here, here, and then here. It's just snap, snap. Right? From the mind to the dantian, to the ground, to the dantian, to the hands. And that's what you're doing right here. You're practicing that sequence. Right? The mind, the dantian, the ground, the dantian, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the fingertips. Sequence. Sequence. Catherine, when you get the sequence, then you can relax on top of the sequence. Once you
That's
get
a long way. That's a long way, the relaxation.
once you get the sequence, the sequence in your body feels like a flow.
Yeah.
It feels like the current of a river. And you can just relax on top of that. But if you don't have the sequence, you can't relax because everything's kind of not working right, right?
I definitely don't have the sequence except for move number one. That's the only one where I have it internally and I really feel it from.
I totally understand.
But the rest.
My own experience learning the form, all the forms, was very much like that. So when I was learning, certain moves were easier for me. So I intuitively understood them better. Some other moves I just didn't understand them. I could do them, but it was really sort of mostly external. It wasn't very internal. And so there was a move here, and then a move there, and then a move over there. So out of the 24 moves, there were only a few moves that I really could sort of intuitively grasp. And I think it's that way for everybody. And so you pay attention to those moves. What is it in those moves that you are getting that is working for you? And then what happens is the more and more and more you practice, then you get another move, and you get another move, and you get another move, and you get another move, until one day it all sort of starts to come together. And you realize Tai Chi is very simple. It's the simplest thing in the world. It is. But it's very difficult to learn. It's very difficult to learn for everybody. But it's very easy to do. Once you grasp the basic principles, and I mean not as something in your head, but as something in your body, then you go, oh, this is actually very simple. I think it's like, are you a swimmer? Do you swim?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, a lot of people can't swim. You throw them in a lake or in the ocean, and they're like, oh, I'm going to drown, you know, and then they will. They'll literally drown. It's like, look, swimming isn't hard. It's very easy. You know, even something like the Australian crawl or something, it's very easy once you know the principles and once you've had a little practice, right? Um, but until you
Tai Chi is much more difficult than swimming. Definitely.
well, it is. You're right. It is. Tai Chi is a body language, and you know, when we're doing moves, right? There's a lot going on. It takes years to learn that, but it's actually very simple to do. Honestly, it's very simple. That's very simple. But if you don't know how to do it, it's not simple. It's really difficult. So everything goes slow, and you just slow down and pay attention. Pay attention. Pay, as my teacher used to say, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Don't be looking at the birds. Don't be talking with your friends. Pay attention, right? If you want to learn this, pay attention. It's this. It's exactly the same thing, right? It's the legs create the wave. The abdomen, the waist decides what direction things are going, and the hands snap, 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 snap. Got to get one good one in today. So yeah, this one tiny little movement, half the secrets of Tai Chi are in that tiny little movement. So simple. As long as you're paying attention. Much nicer. Yes. Who did you learn bookbinding from? Who was your mentor?
I learned with American bookbinder called Eleanor Ramsey. She works in San Francisco.
Okay. When she was not teaching, but when she was just working on her own bookbinding, let's say you before you even began, you're watching her. My guess is if she's doing her own work, she's probably pretty quick.
Well, it's a little like you. I will have to say she could be fast, but at the same time, it was slow because everything was so precise.
Yes, exactly.
Everything was so like thoughtful, and obviously she had thought about it before doing it. So
yes, and she's done it a million times.
yeah.
So, not that she was always be fast, but any good craftsperson, whether you're doing woodworker or bookbinding or ceramics or anything that a craftsperson does, when they get really good at it, they can do it really quickly. But you're a beginner. You can't. You can't do it quickly. It has to go really slow for a while, for a couple of years, as you learn how to work the clay or how to bind the book or how to do Tai Chi. All right? The secret to a good craftsperson is they pay attention.
Yeah,
They
it's true.
pay attention to what their master is doing. So, back in the day when I was in Master Zhang's class, the first couple of years, I noticed that I acted differently from most of the other students. Most of the other students didn't pay any attention to Master Jean. They were paying attention to themselves. So they were, well, you know, they weren't very good. They were just beginners. And the only thing they were doing was paying attention to themselves. So how are they going to learn? All they're doing is learning bad habits. Right? What I would do is pay attention to Master Jean, and especially this spot. I just kept my eyes on him all the time. I watched what he was doing. What is he doing? Why are his hands like this? Now they change to this. Then they change to this. Why are they doing that? Well, there's a reason. Pong, Lu, On, Chi. Right? Pong, Lu, On, Chi. I mean, this is a simplified way of talking about it. It's kind of in a certain way, almost a mechanical way of talking about it. But you're doing 4 different things. Pong, Lu, On, Chi, right? Now, nobody moves that way in real life. That's just a way of explaining things. In real life, it's much more organic. Pong, Lu, On, Chi. Right? And then your consciousness changes too. Watch my fingertips. They're like whiskers on a cat, right? My fingers are listening. They're listening to the world out here. The tips of your fingers have a tremendous number of nerves in them, right? Your lips, your eyes, the tips of your fingers, and certain other places on the body have lots and lots of nerves, right? So it's not, you don't just treat your hands like lumps of clay, right? They're intelligent. These are, my hands are sensory organs. They're sensory organs. They're like my ears. They're like my eyes. They're like my tongue. They're listening to the world. They're listening. They're not just pushing things. Even if I'm pushing something, right? I'm still listening. When you push something, that's yang energy, yes? Outgoing energy from the dantian outward, bah, right? There has to be a yin energy. Where's the yin energy? Even as I'm pushing, I'm also absorbing. Like look at the red symbol here, right?
Mm-hmm.
That little dot inside, the red symbol is yang. That dot in there, the black dot, that's yin. So even though I'm pushing, there's also energy coming in. And it comes in through the tips of my fingers and through the lao go. Right? So yeah, I'm pushing, but I'm also listening. What am I listening to? I'm listening to that other guy's body. Where is his energy going? Is it all just crumbling and falling over? Or is he preparing a counterattack? I'm pushing him, but maybe he wants me to push him. And he's going to circle and then come back. So I'm listening. I'm listening for that counterattack to get ready to retreat if I need to, or whatever. So your hands are intelligent. Yes, right. You are engaging with the world through your hands. So even a simple little movement like this. All right, practice what we've done so far with some awareness of what we talked about today.
Absolutely.
See if you can take your comfort level with the first move into some of the other moves, at least a little bit. All right.
Can you, are you going to be posting this lesson tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you, Malcolm.
You're
It was
welcome.
great.
Ciao.
I love those lessons.
Good.